You pay for your own mistakes. That's what I'd like to say to all of you people who take dumb risks and expect the rest of us to pay for your stupidity.
Sir, coming over right now.
Most every day, rescuers take heroic risks to save someone, somewhere in America. The rescuers helicopter hikers off Grand Canyon ledges, surfers out of the Pacific, mountaineers stranded on snow-capped mountains. Sometimes rescuers trying to help others put their own lives on the line. When climbers on Mount Hood fell into a crevasse, a military helicopter flew to the rescue, and it crashed.
So we're watching a rescue of a rescue.
They even risked their lives to save people who want to kill themselves, like the man who tried to drive his minivan off this cliff, but then got stuck. Often the rescued are adventurers who are in trouble because they took foolish risks.
I fell down the hill. I really don't know what happened, but I luckily got stopped by a tree before I fell off.
Some hike into treacherous weather like this with no warm clothing. The only way out? By helicopter, on a stretcher. The internet is crammed with examples of risky behavior. Some people go biking on the edge of a mountain.
Be careful, that's a hell of... Oh my God.
Oh no. There you go, first fish.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Even mundane sports are treacherous if people are careless. Every winter, people go ice fishing in Lake Erie. On this day, a TV crew went along as this group in an airboat went over this crack in the ice.
Yeah, that's a crack that's always there every year that never heals up real good, so that's why we use airboats, so you can go home at night and see your kids.
But most of the fishermen didn't use airboats. They went out on four-wheelers or by foot. That's risky if the wind were to open that crack in the ice.
We see a big colony of guys that took their four-wheelers out here in a wind like this. That's not really a smart thing to do. That crack's going to get bigger and bigger as the day goes on.
It sure did. Just a few hours later.
The crack that we came across is now 20 feet of open water.
So how are all those fishermen going to get back?
911, where's your emergency? There's a 50-foot gap between the crack and the shoreline. There's probably 500 guys out there still.
21 government agencies responded to the rescue request. The good news, no one drowned. And the fishermen were happy.
This is what it's all about right here.
But hadn't they taken a foolish risk?
This morning the ice looked bad going out. A lot of people said we wasn't going to go out, you know. When everything looked bad, we decided to go out anyhow.
I'm a little bit upset right now with what I see going on.
Sheriff Bob Bratton was angry that people ignored the weather.
There's no section of law about stupidity because they could all be arrested today for that.
But Randy Hayes defends taking his four-wheeler onto the ice.
You take a chance every time you go out there.
But on this day, there was that strong offshore wind.
There's wind, there's cracks. It's just something that we deal with.
You're tying up emergency services. A helicopter that'll be coming over by Coast Guard, $4,000 an hour.
The rescue cost more than $250,000.
Sheriff says you guys should pay if you get rescued.
I'm not for paying. I'm not for paying if you're lost in the woods. And this is America, and I believe that, you know, we all jump up, we help each other.
Why shouldn't people pay? It costs money to have a rescue. It costs money to bring in the Coast Guard.
We already pay that in the tax dollars that we pay.
If you start charging people, people won't call when they truly do need help.
Have a good day, guys.
Have a good one.
I learned later that that's bunk. New Hampshire still gets calls for rescues, even though it charges reckless people.
Since 1999, we've been billing people, and they keep calling.
Maybe other places should charge, because why should taxpayers have to pay the cost of rescuing people who do such stupid things?
I'm gonna pass out, I swear to God. Okay, buddy!
This rock climber got tangled in ropes, probably because he was drunk, according to the Yosemite park ranger who rescued him. Would you be foolish enough to go into this Tennessee cave without gear to pull yourself back up? These young men did, and they got stuck.
I think it was the thrill of going down in the hole and not thinking about getting back up.
Finally, John Ruschenberg's a reckless risk-taker. He paraglides.
Got it.
Nice launch. Skis off the trail and takes difficult hikes. In Moab, Utah, he hiked up this canyon.
This time last year and camped right by the Colorado River Then suddenly, I was stuck.
He was reckless, says Sheriff Jim Nyland, and he should pay for his rescue.
Well, I mean, he had sandals on, and I believe they were thongs that he had on.
They were, John admits.
I was hiking in flip-flops.
He thinks it's funny. This county started charging for rescues after spending $5,000 to pull this Jeep out of that crack in the canyon. They did it to protect local taxpayers because this is a sparsely populated county, but they have 100 rescues a year because tourists come here for the extreme sports.
I'm from North Carolina.
Montreal.
Sacramento?
They take all kinds of risks.
It's absolutely fun. It's just an absolute rush every time.
And some need to be rescued.
I mean, I'm looking at the local taxpayer. When people go out and do ridiculous things, I think they ought to be held accountable.
So they went after John.
We billed him $2,000, and he has not paid as of this day.
I don't want to pay my bill.
John wanted to talk to the sheriff about it.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, man.
Got some good shoes on today.
Yes, I do.
We were there when they met.
I never placed a call. I know,
but you asked somebody to call. You called her down that you needed help.
I find it odd that you have no right to refuse when you can self-rescue.
The sheriff had an answer for that.
Well, you couldn't self-rescue.
And get this, it wasn't John's first time. A few years back, he and his friends had to be helped off this mountain. John was
hungover. And we had problems from the start. But we had a great time.
The sheriff still hasn't gotten his money.
Hopefully people watching want to chip in.
Well, I hope so too.
Oh, give me a break. Why should other people chip in to pay for people who bring it on themselves? They should take responsibility for the costs they impose on others.